fun. Thanks for taking your time.
Yeah, glad to be here.
How's Thimbleweed Park going at the moment?
It's going pretty well. We started in January, and we had a fairly long pre-production where we got the whole game basically working with all the art just in wireframe and wired up all the puzzles and all the major interactions, all the story beats and everything. And we're just able to kind of run around the world and solve the puzzles and see how everything felt. And then the 1st of July we started into production, so now we're doing final art for the game and final writing and all of that. So it's gone good.
It's a very, very, very classical adventure. Why did you decide to go back in time?
I've always loved those games, and there's a certain, simplicity and charm to them. And I felt like that sometimes gets lost in a lot of modern adventure games, that real charm. And, talking to Gary a little bit about, why is that? And really felt that, that kind of simple, very, 8-bit pixel art is a part of that charm. And it's just something we wanted to really revisit and, see if we could design a game really like those old games, and have that art style, but still, kind of bring some more modern sensibilities, the things that we've learned about adventure game design over the years, to it. And it just, kind of relive that whole experience. A lot of it is really about us reliving the experience of making the game as much as it is, other people being able to play a game like that.
As there are not many adventure games like this on the market, do you think the adventure genre is still alive?
Yeah, I do think it's alive. I think a lot of it is, just morphed into other things. You have really good games like, Kentucky Route Zero is a game I really like, but I don't know that I would call that necessarily, an adventure game per se, but it definitely has its roots in adventure games. And so I think adventure games is just kind of morphed into a lot of different things. But, and there still are, classic, point and click type games, being made. But I don't know that a lot of them are like, hugely successful type stuff. And I don't know that Thimbleweed Park is going to be either. I think that was one of the reasons that, we wanted to do a Kickstarter for it, because we wanted to make a game like that and at some level not care if it sold very well. We got the money through the Kickstarter. It's enough money to make the game. We're going to have a lot of fun making the game. And, if it doesn't sell that well, it doesn't sell that well. It's kind of like, we don't care.
Did you play your old games first?
I've always kind of gone back and played those games again. I always do. When I started working on The Cave, I went back and played Maniac Mansion again because of the character switching stuff. When I worked on Death Bank, I went back and I played the first Monkey Island, all the way through. So I often go back and revisit those games just to, refresh my mind about, how things worked. And with Thimbleweed Park, I played all the way through Monkey Island 2. Because I felt that Monkey Island 2 was a lot more complex game than Monkey Island 1 was, and I really wanted to model Thimbleweed Park a little more after Monkey Island 2, so I went back and played through that whole thing again.
If it works out very well, is this your last game when you say, okay, now I have my fun once again, or will you put in another one?
Well, if I have a lot of fun making this and, if people buy it, I would, I'd love to make a new one. I'm having a lot of fun doing a very classic point-and-click adventure. And I guess to me that is the fun of it, is doing that classic point-and-click adventure. I like the verbs. I like having the inventory there. That stuff is really fun to me. And if people like it, I'd be more than happy to make another one.
If you love it so much, why did it take such a long time between your last game and Thimbleweed Park?
I don't know. That's a good question. A lot of people ask me that question. And, I did games like Death Bank and The Cave, which, had a lot of adventure game elements to them, but they weren't really that point-and-click stuff. And, I think part of it is, kind of seeing the whole adventure game thing kind of move beyond point and click and just kind of wondering, well, I guess, the true classic point and click, maybe that's dead. Maybe, adventure games need to evolve into something else. And me really thinking about that. But I think with Kickstarter, it kind of allows you to go right to the fans of those old games and go, you know what, I want to make one of these old things again. Will you help me with that? And so I think things like Kickstarter have really opened that up, because there's no way I could have pitch Thimbleweed Park to a publisher. There's just no way. They may have liked the story, they may have loved the game, but they would have made me change it away from a point-and-click adventure. With things like Kickstarter, I don't have to do that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.